Getting into this film, I knew I was going to be dealing with fashion. That was going to be one of the pivot points, just like the lighting and the music, that we were going to use the fashion and the wardrobe to escalate the story. The costumes in CABECEO are part of the key transition piece in the movie. You really can tell where the characters are in the real world versus where they are in the fantasy world when you see the costumes.
The first costume, you know, it did what it was intended to do because it made me feel like an awkward person. And that's exactly what it was supposed to be. And it had like a shawl, just like very covered up and like you're insecure.
And then the idea was to go into the fantasy world with no glasses, hair down. Her dress is now off the shoulders with a big slit to make the dance moves possible. And the key to having both outfits work was our amazing costume designer, Alina.
Brian already really had like this amazing idea in his head. So for me, it was just kind of like pulling it out, getting it on paper, building a nice structure, and being able to put my own little spin on it. So it was really nice because he was very collaborative.
It was great getting these texts from Alina with the design sketches of the dresses, and I could show Jen and Claudia while we were rehearsing, or Darren while I was working on the music, what the dress would look like. And I had something visual that wasn't just in my imagination to show and represent the look of the film that we were going towards.
Her personality really helped with putting the dress together because, you know, it's all about how it's going to fit on her, how she's going to look in it, how she's going to move in it. It was all about the line, the back.
So to actually change into the beautiful, sexy tango dress, that felt really, really good. Just like some female empowerment and feeling like very, very confident. Yeah, the material of this dress was perfect because, yeah, I was doing a lot of crazy tricks and stuff. I think I was sweating. I didn't notice it at all when that dress didn't show, so perfect material.
It's like you have to think more about their movement and just the strength of the dress. You don't want it to break in the middle of the dance, and you want to make sure that they're able to actually, like, move their legs where they need to go and spin where they need to go. Jen did a really good job helping me to figure all those parts out, like functionality in the dress.
Alina's work on the dress was perfect and held up to so much stress and movement. It was only on the final day of production, with 3 hours to go, that the dress finally ripped a bit in the back. Actually, all things considered, it's kind of amazing it only happened once.
Yeah.
Alina was right there and sewed it back up with Jen still in it, and we finished without any issue.
Okay.
Which was great because the very last thing we shot in the whole production was Jen walking away from camera. Action. For the other characters, the idea was to find something that worked for them in a club setting that would seem very real world, and then to heighten it.
And these girls that are more like, I guess, aggressive, I want them to look feisty, you know, just attack mode, you know what I'm saying? Like one girl, I loved the idea of her back and her legs just showing with the movements of the dance. The other girl, I really loved her waistline, and so I wanted to put like a nice high-waisted pair of pants on her with this cute little top so you could show like the hips moving.
The sirens, who have this kind of intense, almost music video 80s makeup, I really enjoyed having that kind of heightened appearance for them. Action.
A lot of times people think that with men it's a lot more simple, but I think it's actually a little bit more difficult because they don't have as much out there to choose from. For him, like, I was trying to think of this like idea of what is in her head what she thinks this man should look like. Like, what is her idea of this like really good looking guy and being really clean cut and nice. And so that's when I kind of went with the whole like idea, like, you know, he's wearing a vest because he took his coat off and he's hanging out the bar with this classic look.
Alina was so much fun to work with. She took these concepts that I had in my imagination and brought them into the real world and created designs for the dancers that were as elegant as their moves.
I was so excited when I finally got to the fantasy scene. I really feel like I put my heart and soul into their costumes, but I was more excited when I heard the crew talking about it. Like, I was sitting in the corner and I heard somebody and she was like, wow, they look amazing. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, ooh, because it's just like seeing it from somebody else makes me feel so much better that I did a really good job. I'm so happy.